Hi guys, it's another episode of Artists with Anxiety. I'm Ellie and I'm the host, and I'm here with Amber Taylor.
Hi.
So she's one of the more unique ones that I've gotten to talk to recently, because you are not like a painter, you are a writer.
I'm a writer.
So why not, like, the dreaded question of tell me about yourself, specifically what kind of creative are you?
Well, I guess I'm a writer. I really enjoy like visual art and stuff, but I'm not good at it. I stick with the writing.
That's okay.
Yeah. I do a little bit of poetry, but mainly I'm into like memoir and creative nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
I like prose poetry. I think that's really cool. I don't hate, but I'm really bad at writing fiction. So basically I'm just like into more creative nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I do. About myself, I'm like generally sad, but I try to be happy. You know? I'm a pharmacy technician at Nationwide Children's Hospital.
Oh wow.
Well, that sounds like really intense, but it's not.
Way more intense than what I do.
It's a great job, but it's really fun. It's not that intense. But yeah, I'm going to OSU for my master's in fine arts for creative writing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm going sometime in August. I really need to get my shit together for that because I'm like, whoa, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, it's coming up faster than anybody thinks, and I hate. Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, can we stop now?
Slow down. I'm done with this.
Yeah, at least we have this like one extra day of like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's about me, I guess.
So you've been published, right?
Yeah.
You're a published writer.
Yeah, I'm a published writer, which is like weird to think about.
Where have you been published?
Well,
for those that don't know.
Mainly I've been published online, but not the most recent. One of the more recent things that I've been published in is this new edition of a anthology written by women and people of color called Colonize This.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's an anthology about womanism and feminism, and I was asked to write something for the new edition. So that's in Barnes and Noble, and that's like really cool. that, like something that I wrote is in a book that's available at freaking Barnes and Noble.
I will post links.
But yeah, it's a really cool book if you're like into that kind of thing. But also I'm just like online, just like a bunch of random little really cool like online magazines and journals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like the most recent one was in Peach Mag, which I really like. It's like really cute and everything. It has like fruit and stuff on it. And then like the pastel-y colors that I just really like. Mm-hmm. And I like publishing online better just because I feel like it's more accessible and you don't have to pay for most things that are online. You can share it pretty easily. But I mean, libraries have books that are free. I don't know.
Yeah, like, we still need those things.
Yes. So that's fine too. But yeah, I am published, which is like weird to think about. But yes.
So again, only tell me what you're comfortable with, but what kind of like mental health issues are you struggling with?
I definitely struggle with anxiety, and I feel like sometimes it feels social. I'm like, man, do I have like social anxiety? Mm-hmm. But when it first came on, like it was just me. Like I was just like freaking myself out. I didn't even have to be around people. I was just in my room spiraling, like, oh my God, you know? And I think I was about 19, so I was a sophomore in college when it first started to get really bad. I was having like maybe like 3 to 5 panic attacks a day. Like,
oh my God.
It was horrible. And I know that I'm like, people really can't see my full body, but I'm like a thin person, but I wasn't eating either, so I was even thinner than I am now. Like
that was me in high school.
Yeah, like super dangerously low weight for my body type. I also struggle with depression too, and I feel like that just kind of comes and goes. It's definitely gotten better since I started taking medication, and I know you'll get to that later, but definitely depression and anxiety for sure. Like they're both And they kind of are hand in hand, especially when it was really bad. It was like, well, if I'm not freaking out about something because of my anxiety, I'm just like ready to give up on my life entirely because of depression. Like that's literally, and I know that people say that all the time, but that's literally how it was for me. And
it's it feels like it's like an angel and devil, but one's not good, but they're both bad.
Yeah, they're both pretty horrible. Don't listen to either.
One wants you high strung, the other wants you in bed all day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like my mom would literally have to like, and I still live with my parents, but
and I take no shame in it.
I mean, yeah, but
no pay that tuition, man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just like paid some of my loans today. I'm like, oh yes, but
thanks, Mom.
my mom literally had to like come into my room and like pull me out of bed and like make sure that I showered every day and like brought me food and like made me walk the dog every day just so that I could like get some sun and like get some exercise or whatever, because I would literally be like stuck to my bed. Yeah, so it was pretty bad. It's definitely better, but it's still there. But yeah.
So how do you make yourself be creative when you're feeling down, like on a bad day or something like that? What kind of steps do you take, or do you not bother at all? Take care of yourself.
Some days I do bother and some days I don't. And I think that it's different now that I'm not in school and I haven't been forced to like I haven't been met with a deadline in quite some time. So it's not like I'm going to like make myself write something. If I don't feel like it, then I just won't. Like my grade isn't depending on it. But when I was still in school and it was just really, really bad, I would just be like, okay, well, if I can't like escape this feeling, then I'm just going to write off of it. Like I'm just going to do whatever I can just to finish the assignment. Like I'm not worried about if it's good, you know, like whatever. Like I just need to get it done so that they don't think that I'm like slacking off. I eventually did leave school. Like I was so close to finishing my spring semester sophomore year, but I just couldn't do it. And I did finish it eventually. I graduated like 2 years ago, but I know 3. Oh my God.
I know.
Never mind. 3 years ago. but I just couldn't do it. Like sometimes you get to a point where it's just so bad or I got to a point where I was just so bad that I was just like, I can't, like it literally like physically hurt my brain. So like, I just had a constant headache, like either because I wasn't eating or just because I was just overthinking everything. But sometimes like, if I feel like I have to, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to write off of whatever this feeling is. And hopefully it's not too garbage, you know? You know, and if it is, then, you know, it is what it is. Like, I can't, like, I'll come back to it later when I'm feeling better, you know? So, yeah.
I get that. So can you tell us about a time when you mentally had to fight to be creative? And, like, how did you handle that? What was the result?
There are definitely days where I just am like so pressured to just put work out, and even if it's not like a mental health thing, even if I'm just feeling completely uninspired, I just am like forcing myself to do it. I remember I think it was a fiction class, and again, I'm like so trash at writing fiction, but we were working on flash fiction, which I think is pretty cool. Like I really enjoy reading flash, and I write like flash nonfiction now because I really just like short, concise things, and I was having such a hard time like writing this little short thing. Like it wasn't like this huge like short story. It wasn't like a, you know, whatever, a novella. It was just like flash is like maybe 500 words or less. Like it really all depends on like what magazine you want to submit to or who you're asking what flash is. But some people write flash like 100 words or less. Like it can be, like really, So it wasn't like this huge thing that he was asking us to do, you know, it was just a small little like half page of whatever. And I just could not for the life of me write anything down. Like I started so many different things and nothing was seeming to like click or come together. And I just turned on the TV, you know, like looking for like something. I'm like, literally anything. and I was like watching like the fucking Animal Channel or some shit, and it was like something about like sex in the animal kingdom, like legitimately. I was like, okay, I guess I'll write about that. Like, awesome. Yeah, I'm like, that's pretty weird, but you know, it's better than whatever's going on up here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like and there were so many instances where I just had to kind of distract myself, even though I knew that I had to focus to like get my work done. Like generally, like when I'm working on something, I'm like focusing on like what's going on like in here, and because it's like a really emotional thing. Like when you're an artist, I feel like you're emotionally invested in whatever it is that you're putting together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it was weird for me to try and like sever myself from whatever I was feeling and just writing something just off of like whatever was around me and not really trying to think too much about it. But that's what I had to do in that instance, and that's what I had to do in a lot of my non-creative classes, because I was taking literature classes too, and I had to like analyze things and like write papers on that, and I was just like, okay, like it's to the point where like I can't even do like basic things, you know, so I just literally have to like focus on something else or think about something else like a while, and you know, just writing stuff. It was really weird, and like the dissonance was strange, but that's how I did it.
Did you get a decent grade on it? Do you know?
I did.
Yeah.
I think I got, in that class, he gave me like a B, and I was like, fuck you, dude. But like,
like all right,
you knew I wanted to kill myself, but whatever.
Hope you feel better about yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I mean, whatever. But I didn't fail, so that was good.
So how do you cope with some of these issues? Like, do you have a self-care routine, or do you like still try to force yourself to work, or like when do you know when to take breaks, and how do you cope with these kind of things?
I know when to take breaks when I'm like really physically hurting. Like I've learned that your body doesn't lie to you. Like my mind does, especially when I'm having like a bout of anxiety, when I'm like thinking that something impossible is going to happen or, you know, whatever. Yeah. But if I feel it in my body, I'm just like, okay, like if I'm feeling like a really bad headache, or if I feel like really hungry, like, oh, I haven't eaten yet today, or like if I feel like I need to go exercise or just get like a lot of energy out or something, or just make myself a bit more tired so that I'm not like, you know, all the time, then I'm like, okay, let me just tend to all these other things first and come back to it. And if I feel better then maybe I'll think about writing then. But if I feel like distress anywhere in my body, I'm just like, okay, maybe I shouldn't like jump into this right now. But if it's like something that's just in my head, not saying that that's like not something I should listen to, but if it's just something where I'm like on the cusp of like freaking out, I'll just be like, okay, I can like take some deep breaths and, you know, and just, I can like try it out for a little bit. And if it doesn't get better, if I don't get like lost in the work, if I don't like get really into whatever it is that I'm writing, then I'll just stop, you know? But I try to like make sure that, I don't know, I just try to make sure that everything else is okay first. Like if I'm feeling really anxious or really depressed, I'm like, okay, what are things that I know that I can do that'll at least help my body feel better, you know? Yeah. So
then what does self-care look like for you?
For me, it's talking to people that I know I can trust and who are just good at like listening to me, because I don't expect my friends to be like my counselor. I have a counselor, but
there are people that get paid to do that.
Yes, and I talk to him about many things, but you know, sometimes I'll be like, hey, I'm feeling like really weird right now. Like, what's going on with you? Like, can you like distract me from this like bullshit feeling that I'm feeling right now? Or like, I'm a very like sensory person, so if I'm feeling weird, I will light a bunch of candles in my room.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and I will like make sure I've had water, and I'll like watch a cartoon or something. I'll be watching like Bee and Puppy Cat or like Hayao Miyazaki movies, just anything that like, you know, that makes me feel really good. And I'll be like, okay, I'm like really upset about this one thing, but at least I can think about it now in a way that isn't like fueled by anxiety. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's usually what I do if I have time for that. Or I just like take a nap, or I like eat some comfort food, you know, because I really like food too. You know, just something that I know will make me feel better.
Yeah.
Like one of those stupid like Snickers commercials.
Oh yeah, like, you're not yourself.
You're not yourself. Yeah. Well, basically, yeah. And I'm just like, okay, now I can like think a little bit more clearly now that I've like had something.
Even my partner recognizes it. They're like, "You're hungry, aren't you?" I'm like, "You're being rude. Are you hungry?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm hungry." Can we stop at McDonald's or something on the way home? Like, okay, chill.
Yeah. It definitely impacts your mood, right?
It does. Oh my god.
I feel that. So yeah.
That's the Taurus mood.
Yes, that's me.
Fun fact, we have the same birthday, so that's the main thing. Food, naps, like these are all Taurus things.
Yes, Taurian things for sure.
Actually, I just made that connection. I was like, oh wait.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes sense now.
Yeah.
So besides some of that stuff, like what, how do you do like go through official like treatments? Like, you mentioned you have a counselor. Do you take any medication, or like how, like what do you do to actually control it?
Yeah. So it took me forever. I'm turning 25 in April, and I think this all started when I was 19. So like almost 6 years to get on medication.
It's taken me a while to get on meds.
Yeah, I'm taking escitalopram, or Lexapro is the brand name for it. And I started taking that a few months ago. When my parents found out, they were so pissed.
Really?
Yeah, they were pissed. They were like, "Oh my god, you can't take that. You're gonna be taking that stuff for the rest of your life." And I'm like, well, you don't know that, but if I do, then at least I don't have to feel like killing myself anymore.
Yeah. I would like to live to see that. But
right? Yeah, I know, right? Like, you're missing the point. But they were just like, "Oh my god, you have no idea what they put in those fillers, and you're gonna be stuck on that stuff," and blah blah blah. I was just like, whatever. Like, I can't be taking fucking St. John's wort for the rest of my life.
But aren't you, like, you work in a pharmacy, so like, you do know what goes in.
I'm not a pharmacist, but I like know how it's a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, and I'm like, okay, I know how the fuck those work. Like, I'm not like I'm not scared of taking those.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? Mm-hmm. It just leaves, like, for anybody who doesn't know, it just serotonin is like a it's like a little, oh gosh, it's like a neurotransmitter, like a hormone or something, like in your brain, and you have like, I guess like a threshold where your brain has all these different things, and it like communicates with these little like serotonin and whatever, like literally all this stuff in your brain, and it like reuptakes that stuff that you don't need. But basically Lexapro or any other selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor just leaves some left over for your brain to have, so that you're not like stressing out and sad, because serotonin like makes you happy, you know, it improves your mood. And if you have like a serotonin like deficiency or whatever, like if you don't have a lot of it, you're more prone to being like depressed or anxious or whatever else. So I know that I like use like the wrong terminology, but like basically it just leaves a little bit extra serotonin for me to have, so that I'm not like for my brain to have, so that my brain's not freaking out all the time. And they're like, well, the side effects and blah blah blah. And the only big thing I think with a lot of antidepressants is that you have to be patient with them. Like, everything is not going to work for everyone, but I don't think anyone has ever prescribed any antidepressant ever and has been like, yeah, this will work in like 2 days. Because it won't.
No, that's not how that works.
It won't.
Your brain's a complex computer. It takes a second.
Yeah. So it took at least like 3 to 4 weeks for me to see a change. Like, definitely like a solid month of just taking it consistently. But yeah, that is what I'm taking. It works for me, so I don't plan on, asking to switch to like something else or get a higher dose. Like 10 milligrams a day is like fine for me.
Yeah, that's enough.
And I and I see a counselor on an as-needed basis. I saw him earlier this month, and I'm going to see him, I think, in a couple weeks. I wrote it down in my planner. I'm seeing him.
That's all that matters.
I'll figure out what it is. But yeah, I'm seeing him next month. So, and he's really good. I've been seeing him for a while. But that's what I do for myself. That's a professional thing.
I haven't been on. I saw a counselor through high school and like maybe up to sophomore year of college, and then it wasn't until like the last year. I think I've been on my anti-anxieties for about a year, and I really should be going back to therapy, but money and time and and there are wonderful resources around Columbus, but I just haven't actually.
It's a
sat down and figured out finding a counselor that's right for me.
It's a lot. It takes a lot of time. I've been to really bad therapists when I was at Miami. Like the student health center there is great for a lot of things, but I don't think it's great for mental health services just because they are understaffed, and I feel like that's literally everywhere. A lot of schools don't have enough therapists or counselors, but it's so hard. Basically, it's so hard to find somebody. They're in high demand, and then when you finally do get to sit down with somebody, they might not be a good fit for you.
And then you have to do it all over again.
Yes, it's very time consuming, and then the money thing too is just a lot. It's a lot. So in the meantime, the medication's been doing the thing, and I, like you said, I notice a difference if I'm ever off of it. If I let my refills relapse or lapse or something like that, then I start to get more what's it called, emotional. I at the drop of a hat I can get upset or stressed, and I'm wait, when was the last time I took a pill? Because it's been a couple weeks, then that's probably why. And then it's maybe a week or two after the fact, now that my body's oh hey, this is back, we can function a little better. I'm okay, I'm far less anxious, and then people have told me that they've noticed a difference. When I'm off versus when I'm on, and I try to keep on as much as possible. But a little dosage every day has been enough. But for some people, I know it you can build tolerance, or meds will stop working at some point, and you have to try something else. That was the case with my mom. She had to try 3 different things before. Counselors had to try 3 different things before one finally worked. It's definitely different for everybody. Thankfully, I haven't built up a tolerance to what I'm taking right now, but I have built up a tolerance to other unrelated meds. Don't give me Vicodin, because I will be what the hell do you want me to do with this?
I'm the same way with Benadryl. Everybody's that'll just make me sleepy. I'm really, it takes me 6 pills and 2 glasses of wine to make me sleepy. And I can take a nap at the drop of a hat. So
that's so funny. Oh my goodness.
Benadryl doesn't do that for me.
I hear you. Yeah.
But that's for other allergy-related reasons.
Right, yeah.
So I think you've actually answered all my questions. So tell us where we can find you, Instagram, website, any of the other. You listed a bunch of the places that you're published. And Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble! Oh my gosh, what is my Instagram? I should really know this. It's am_yams with 2... Is it 2 S's or 2 M's?
I thought it was 2 S's.
Okay, it might be 2 S's. This is so unprofessional. I'm sorry.
Don't even care.
Oh, wait.
You're fine.
Who the heck was messaging me? Oh yeah, it's 2 S's. AM_YAMSS.
Yes, and I will include links, I promise.
Okay. Well, honestly, it's fine. I'm so unprofessional, and I don't have a website. So
no, that's fine.
It's gonna be kind of raggedy for a little bit.
Early in your career, no big deal.
So I get a website, but that's my Instagram, and I usually end up posting whatever I get published on my Instagram. But I've been in Crab Fat Magazine, Peach Mag, Rigorous Journal for Writers of Color, Rogue Agent Journal. That was a long time ago. I really like that magazine. Geez, I don't know. There's a few other places that I'm having brain farts, but
no,
yeah,
okay.
there's in the bio, 'cause they always make you write like an awkward bio. Like nobody else. Right. Yeah.
I will never have a good one ever.
I will never have a good one ever either. But like I mentioned, like in my awkward ass bios about like where else I've been published and stuff too. So if you really are like into my weird, sad, whatever I write, you'll be able to find me. But definitely find me on Instagram.
Okay, so then, well, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time. It was awesome. It was awesome to see you again.
It's awesome to see you again.
Okay, so then real quick, my regular disclaimer is that we're not doctors, we're not medical professionals. No. Well, sort of. You kind of.
Oh my God, no! I am not I'm not a PharmD. I'm not a registered pharmacist. I'm a CPHT. We are not allowed to counsel anybody. Like what I said about selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors was a very, very layman's. Do not quote me. I'm sorry.
Moral of the story is we're not medical professionals. No. Please seek licensed professional help.
Yes.
Whether it's a counselor or if it's a psychiatrist, whatever.
Yes.
Or if it's your doctor, like your regular primary care doctor, which is where I got my meds.
Yes.
I would highly recommend or talking to a friend. Whatever you need to do to take care of yourself is most important because we still need you on this earth. For Christ's sake, we do.
Yes.
So, please
to make up for all the shitty people in the world.
God. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. We need all of us to offset Trump. All of us to offset him.
But the entire administration, really. But
shade, but yes. Tea, but yes.
So thank you guys. I've got awesome guests coming up in the next few episodes, so I hope that you guys will stick around. So thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.